Hello, and welcome to the AgriBusiness Global Report. My name is Sarah Webb, and I'm editor of AgriBusiness Global and host of today's show. In this segment, I speak with Abhijit Bose, Executive President and COO at Tagros Chemicals, about how active ingredients coming off patent will reshape India's ag input manufacturing and distribution landscape. Thanks for tuning in. Abhijit, thank you so much for joining me today. First off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Sarah. Hi. Great to connect with you again. I'm Abhijit Bose. I'm Executive President and Chief Operating Officer in Tagros Chemicals. Have been in the industry for almost 33, 34 years now in the agrochemical and agri-input. Worked with large manufacturing and distribution companies in India like Excel Industries, Excel Crop Care, which was acquired by Sumitomo Chemical later. I was in Atul and then in Tagros. So it has been a fantastic journey and great experience, and worked extensively in India, in Asia Pacific market, in Latin America, and also in some African countries. Yeah, and Tagros, yes, it is. We are one of the leading manufacturers of technical actives and key intermediates, and also formulations. We have a global footprint with almost 10, 11 subsidiary companies across the world, and we almost work in more than 90 countries with more than 200 plus customers. And we are very well connected with multinational companies for supply of some of the actives, as well as we do contract manufacturing for some of our MNC partners, for some of our Japanese partners.
Yeah,
Thanks, Sarah.
thank you for sharing that. And jumping right into the questions here, with several active ingredients coming off patent, how do you expect this to reshape India's agricultural input manufacturing landscape?
Actually, if you see, yeah, I think the manufacturing companies in India have been, tracking this development. And if you see, starting from, about 2020 or 2021, there are many, some, them, like say, diamides are going off patent, few other herbicides going off patent, some other SDHA fungicides going off patent. So you'll see more technical manufacturers in India are looking into backward integration so that they have a strong position. And then going forward, it's not only technical manufacturing, they're also looking at formulations, which is becoming a differentiator. Not only standalone formulation, mixtures are different types of like OD, SC, AC, WDG, and different value addition with different adjuvant, crop specific positioning. These are happening. I can see that. The other important factor is portfolio consolidation, like companies like Tagros who have global footprint and regulatory capabilities. Besides having manufacturing scale and formulation value added formulations, uh, they are looking at acquisition, brand acquisition, asset acquisitions. I'll give an example. Recently, Tagros has taken over Bayer Crop Sciences' flubendiamide business in about 30 countries across the world. If we take this as an example, an Indian company acquiring not just an active ingredient, but also brands, registration, formulation, and this directly gives you a, a market access. And moving further downstream, the other Indian company like Dhanuka, they have also acquired some global brands of Bayer Crop Sciences, not only for India but also for Latin American market. So, in my view, the companies who will win this race is not only necessarily who will manufacture the active ingredient at a cost effective at at a cost effective price, but they will also look into the converting this generic AI concept into differentiated pharma solution going forward. So it is like not only technical actives, cost-effective technical actives, getting into value-added formulation, getting into brand acquisition, and getting a global footprint.
Okay. And are Indian manufacturers also looking for different models of distribution? For example, some Chinese companies are talking about dealing directly with growers. Are Indian companies talking about dealing directly with growers, or are they still looking for distributors?
See, this is a very interesting approach. If you see the Chinese companies approaching the direct farmer, you can talk about direct farmer engagement, which allows manufacturers to capture something which is very, very valuable, which is the direct farmer and field level data.
Mhm.
Now, if you see, India is slightly complex than China because it's a large geography. Of course, China is also a large geography. But if you see about 80% of Indian farmers, which are approximately 150 million farmers, operate at a scale of less than 2 hectares.
Mm.
So there are small and marginal farmers who dominate the farming community in India. So farmers still depend quite a lot on the local dealer as they get credit, they get product at the doorstep and also right on time or just on time. They also, some of the distributors extend agronomic support, agronomic advice, and also they build a relationship over a period of time. So I feel I think that in India, if we look at northern part of India, southern part of India, where there are more of large scale commercial farming, there this model would be more apt. Whereas in eastern part of India and some part of the western India, where the land holdings are still relatively smaller, except for large sugarcane farms in western part of India, where b- I think it will be a more of a hybrid model. It will be like manufacturer plus you can say manufacturer and some top level distributors and large scale farmers. In some areas where small holdings are more, there I think we'll continue to have the existing distributor, dealer, and the retailer model. Now, see, the farmers' relationship in long run is very, very important. As you say, the if you own the farmer relationship while allowing the distributor to remain part of the complete ecosystem, this is, as I said, the hybrid model perhaps would be more apt for India, in midterm, or maybe I'm not saying long term, but at least midterm, what I see. So I would expect Indian companies to move from distributor dependence to a distributor enabled farmer connection.
Okay. And, with some of the restructuring of top tier companies like BASF, Bayer, and Syngenta, do you see Indian companies starting to use artificial intelligence to start competing and creating new formulations?
See, first of all, we need to see where is the application of such technology. So it is not that AI is creating new molecules exactly, but AI is helping to create better products, and perhaps it is helping you to optimize your formulation or find out the exact combination or but designing the exact mixture in case of mixed formulations, dosage optimization, adjuvant selection, pest and disease surveillance at the field level. There AI is playing a big role. Second thing is, when we talk about the pest or disease surveillance or weed surveillance, this plays an important role in insect pest resistance management program, crops pest specific application recommendation, field trial data analysis. Also, to some extent, initially you can save time on screening the right kind of formulation or right kind of dosage. There, I think what I feel is going to help you to shorten that R&D timeline, where your formulation from R&D to development of formulation, then the field trial, then registration, and then the product launch. This is a long cycle, right? So I feel AI helps in shortening this lifespan. There is many, at least I have come across 4 to 5 very specific models. There are some startups, some no more startups. They're already established. They're coming up with some good AI enabled models to support the R&D activity, product launch activity. As I say, these are being seen now. The other is what you talked about, some big names, some, but if you see that the tie-up, Syngenta in India has already tied up with an AI ecosystem called an Annam, ANNAM. So they are working together on monitoring crop health, pest forecasting, and then monitoring the heat stress or the any other kind of environmental stress. We also see Bayer Crop Sciences in 2026, this year. They have planned to launch this something called a Trans in India, combining two complementary modes of action into differentiated formulations of to look at some certain crop specific sucking pest uh, complex. So my sense is that going forward, you are also seeing there is some restructuring happening in Corteva and BSF, right? So which uh, of course, in one hand, I gave you two example, but this restructuring, which is too early to comment, but I have a sense that this restructuring will also bring in some more opportunities to Indian companies.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your insights.
Thank you, Sarah. Lovely talking to you as
Thank you.
always.
Thanks again for joining for this segment of the Agribusiness Global Report. I'm your host, Sarah Webb. Until next time.